Welcome to AFA Highlights, brought to you by AFA Hub. This podcast is your window into the creative journeys of our talented students and alumni, featuring their remarkable work and inspiring stories. Each episode is packed with behind-the-scenes insights, engaging interviews, and expert advice, showcasing how our students transform their big ideas into even bigger opportunities. Whether you're an artist, a dreamer, a curious creative, or simply a supportive ally, we're thrilled to have you here. Think of this as your exclusive backstage pass to inspiration. So sit back, get ready, and join us as we celebrate the extraordinary together.
Hi guys, welcome to AFA Highlights. I'm Shanna Forrestall, your host for Season 1, and my guest today is one of AFA's students and alumni who I've been working with on and off for many years, Patrick Doran. Welcome to the show, Patrick.
Thanks so much. I'm glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you on here. So Patrick is one of our students who has studied, I think, a couple things, filmmaking, editing, that kind of things, but he has become a master editor and he is editing all kinds of things. So we're going to be talking mostly editing today with Patrick. Patrick, tell me a little bit about your AFA journey. I want to go back to the beginning. How did you get to AFA? How did you even get to AFA Hub to take classes?
Well, I first started AFA in 2011 thanks to a job fair that I attended in Sherman Oaks, California, and they gave me the forms and how to sign up and everything like that, and my first office that we had was in Burbank, California, and then after a few months we left to Glendale, and as of today we are currently working remotely as of now. But since then, I've been an editor for 14 years, and the AFA has been a really big help for me in my career.
That's awesome. So let's talk about your career trajectory. So you took classes at AFA, and then you started on some PIPs, and now you've got some private clients. Let's talk about that journey. First of all, what are some of the things you love about editing? What is it that you enjoy about editing?
Probably my favorite thing that I love about editing the most is color correction and sound effects that you can add along with quality control adjustments. Because I've been watching movies for a long time, and because of those 14 years I've been an editor, actually, I've been noticing a lot of goofs that happens in movies, like say The Godfather, because the color is completely orange, and so I was just like, that needs color correction.
Well, the interesting thing about filmmaking is that a lot of times color correction is very specific and they create a world. And so they choose sometimes really random colors and, and they color the whole thing. But yeah, it's interesting. Color makes such a difference in the way the story is told, right?
Yeah, big time.
So tell me, I'd like to hear two things, but you can think of which one you want to do first. What is one of your favorite projects that you ever worked on? And then what is one of your most challenging projects that you ever worked on?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would say that, I think out of all my favorite projects that I've done, in my career, I would say my favorite was editing a music video called Poisonous, which was created by Jeff Gold, who is a guitarist. And one of the reasons why it was my favorite was because it reminded me of the song Ice Ice Baby. And I loved the story on how it was made during its time. And of course, you were the lead star in it, which was my favorite. But what was difficult in editing it was the very last scene, which was where your character is in bed and the boyfriend is already dead and he's decomposing. And so we had to create an effect to make it look like as if his body was decomposing. And so we had to desaturate not only his skin, but his eyes also as well were starting to be gone. But other than that, one other challenging project I had to do was a film series called Clocking Out, which was during my rookie years at AFA. And one of the most challenging effects for that was we had to research backgrounds for our green screen, where there's a scene where one episode takes place in a 1950s diner. And so we had to locate one that was completely empty when that happened. And it was very challenging to look through that in a way.
So you enjoy editing. What would you say to someone who's just getting started out in editing? Maybe they've only dabbled and they're thinking about coming to AFA or getting serious about it. What kind of advice would you give them, Patrick?
Well, probably the best advice that I could give them is definitely keep up the faith, which is an important thing because there can be a little bit of anxiety and stress, but the best thing to do is just keep up the faith, which is the first part. And if people had any questions or something like that, on what kind of music you need to add or sound effects, they can always reach out to me because I'm always here 5 days a week at AFA, since I'm on a a paid internship thanks to the regional center, which is in regards to that. So whoever is an editor, don't hesitate to ask me any questions like in regards to that. Keep up the faith. This is the top part.
That's great, Pat. Thank you so much. What would you say were some of the other challenges you've had to overcome since you've graduated? When you started working with professional clients and teams and bosses and everything, tell me, what are some of the challenges you faced and how have you overcome them?
Oh, wow. I would say what was challenging for me was going through a professional internship that I got on Mandy, and it was for a man by the name of David Walkney. And he was a professional boxer who needed assistance in creating trailers because he was making a comeback when it came to boxing. And so I had to drive out to his apartment in Hollywood to help do the editing. And the challenging part for me was the driving. But other than that, I managed to pull it through. But as of today, Walkney now lives in Florida. And so I would say it's on hiatus as of now for what the future will be for him and everything like that.
Right. So what about working with other people? Have you had any challenges working with other people or any challenges like learning something new? What other challenges?
I have had like a challenging things where there are fellow students or employees who can not be easy to work with. And one of the things that I've learned, actually, I take that from a perspective because I read stories all the time where celebrities actually have difficulty working with a director or a fellow celebrity. One thing that's best to just try not let it get to you. Just carry on with the project and not let it get to you as it ends. There's one thing I have realized, actually, and the viewers at home do need to realize too, is that there are celebrities who are just not very kind people and can be demanding. So it's best to just try not to let it get to you as you go on.
That's good advice. And what would your advice be for someone, because I know one thing you're really good at is research. When you don't know something, you go and dig and you find it. What would you say to people who are learning? Like, would you recommend that they do research, and how would they do that?
Oh, yes, I definitely would recommend them doing research. One of the things that you can do if you have difficulty, like, say, adding music, try going to Google, which is actually where I go to all the time when I need to research, like, sound effects or soundtracks that are needed for a project. I do that all the time, like, almost every single day. And so I do that to, like, figure out what needs to be added and everything like that. Like, say, I was in charge of finding sound effects for a music video for a man who's doing a singing frog. I couldn't remember the title of it, though, but I had to research the sound effects for teeth brushing and all kinds of like cartoonish sound effects, like in a way.
And these days, AI is becoming a thing where we're going to be able to ask and create things. Have you ever done Foley? Have you ever created some things from scratch, some sounds?
Yes, I have, actually. I remember that in my rookie years at Actors for Autism, we used to have a studio out in Tarzana. And so we had to create like a sound effect of some debris falling down for one project. And so we got like all these bottle caps from water coolers. And so we just had to like pour them down inside the soundstage to make it look like as if it's almost falling to the ground or something like that. But yeah, there are a lot of famous sound effects editors who have done effects of their own from scratch, actually. And I would say, if there's any sound effects editor who'd be my favorite and one to start, Treg Brown is my all-time favorite sound effects editor. And he was the one who created all of the sound effects for the Warner Brothers cartoons.
Fantastic. Yeah, I find Foley really fun. It's something I enjoy doing, and we've been able to do it on some of our children's stories, and it's always a blast. Well, thank you so much, Pat. I've enjoyed chatting with you. You are one of the OGs. You've been around for a long time and doing good work. And yeah, thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure, Shanna. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in for this episode of AFA Highlights, where we highlight AFA students and alumni. We're so proud of Patrick and all of the students that have come through the school and that have moved into working, and they're doing incredible work, and we're just really, really proud to showcase their work. If you want to check out some of Pat's work, it's all over the place, but I do know he has done some work for My Calm World as well. If you want to check out mycalmworld.com, as well as the My Calm World YouTube channel, you'll see some of the work he's created there. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you for the next episode of AFA Highlights.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of AFA Highlights. We hope today's stories brightened your day and inspired you to connect more closely with AFA Hub. Every time you listen, like, follow, or subscribe to our student projects, you're helping to pave the way for their future success. If you're ready to unleash your creativity, remember that AFA Hub dives deep into the exciting worlds of animation, film, game design, and visual effects. We're more than a school. We're a launch pad for passionate creators ready to shape the future. With hands-on learning, live classes, and a supportive online community, AFA Hub turns raw talent into rewarding careers. Visit our website to learn more. Share this episode with someone who would enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get notified about new episodes. We'll be back soon with a new episode. Thank you for listening.